What's up, YouTube? Jay Lee here. Got another Northwest podcast for you. Today, I'm going to be talking about why men trade in their wives for younger women. This is $1 million question that every woman wants to know. Why do men do this? The answer is actually very simple. The answer is very, very simple. Why do men trade in their wives for younger women? The answer is this. They don't really love their wives. That's the answer. Okay? Plain and simple. It's the same concept as a car. You got a car, you bought it when it was new, you drove it for about 10, 20 years. Then when it got old, you traded it in for a new one. That's it. That's all there is to it. That's the answer. Okay? And you want to know why this happens? Because women are marketing themselves as sex objects. Period. Sorry. Now, you're always going to have guys and girls who will defend that and say that, well, that's biology. The man makes the money and the woman supplies the sex, and that's the way we've survived for thousands of years. Is the woman has used sex to get the man, and it's like, hey, man, if that's what you want to call it, but don't call it love, right? Call it whatever you want. Biology, this, that, and the third, science. Okay, fine. If that's what you want to call it that, but don't call it love, and don't get mad when the man trades you in. All right? It's really that simple. If all you're bringing to a relationship is your vagina, if all you're bringing to the relationship is intimacy and sex, then why would you get upset when he trades you in? That's what you brought to the table in the first place. And here's the thing. Women are going for a guy who's got a nice house. You know, I drive around back here in these I guess you could call them backwoods in a way, but it's just land out here behind where I live. And there's some really nice houses back here, man. Some guys have really done well. I'll say that. You know, there's really like $1 million plots of lands and multi-million-dollar houses out here. And I'm sure, these guys are a lot more successful than me. Tell you that. I live in an apartment, and you want to know what? I'm probably not a catch as far as finances is concerned. And I read a article about 6 months ago that was written regarding how women today are finding not very many men who are economically attractive. Okay, quote unquote, economically attractive, meaning they don't make enough money in order to marry. So women want to get married. Don't get me wrong. I think that men are the ones who are walking away from marriage because it doesn't benefit us. It doesn't help us at all. First of all, we can get the milk for free. We don't have to buy the cow anymore. First of all, sex is easily accessible. First of all, now there are men. Yes, we do want intimacy. Men want intimacy. They want a woman to raise their kids. Sure. So they might do that. They might marry a woman, have her to raise her kids, and then at some point divorce her for a younger woman. Why? Because if all you're bringing into a relationship is pussy, and all you want from a man is a guy who's successful, then you get what you get. And here's the thing. I know many women will say, no, I want more than that. I want love. I want a guy who I like his personality. Woo, woo, de whoop, de woo. But guess what? If he doesn't have the money, you're not going to settle down with him. So really, that's what it is. See, look at this house. That's got to be $1 million home. I don't know if you can see it very good in the video, but that's a beautiful home. I just took a left randomly out of nowhere, and these beautiful homes pop up. So guys out here have money. They're making money, okay? That's not the issue. The issue is that there's not a lot of them, first of all. Second of all, they might not want you, because if you're looking for a dude with money and you don't have a 10 out of 10 body and you don't have a 10 out of 10 face, you're probably going to get passed up for someone else. So see, it goes both ways. And this is what women don't understand, is they think, oh, because all the guys want to fuck me, therefore I'm the most greatest thing ever, so I can get any man I want. Well, no, you can't. You can't get any man you want, because if you're slacking, you got a little bit of belly fat, or your face isn't quite a 10, you might be a 9, you're gonna get passed up for a 10. And again, these are all outward things, which is the whole crux of the point that I'm making here. When you put outward things before other things, which are more important, such as personality, such as character, such as chemistry, such as, and chemistry is not necessarily just things in common either. Actually, chemistry is more important than things in common. All right, people for some reason always pedestalize this idea of things in common, but they overlook basic chemistry. You need to get along with that person. You need to have a very strong bond with that person. And you know, women are very adept at pretending like they get along with somebody when that person has something that they want. I've dated a lot of women, and when they want you, they know how to, you know, make you feel good. They know how to laugh at all your dumb jokes and make you feel great. Like, they know how to do that, and even for long periods of time. This is really dishonest. You know, when you're not being yourself, when you are pretending or you know, putting on a front, that's really not honest. And it's dangerous, because you should be yourself. You should be the person who you really are. But I question whether these women even really know who they really are. I mean, when you're being phony and fake for so many different reasons, you know, for so many different outcomes, do you even know who you are? Do you even know where your priorities lay? Do you even know how to be a good quality person if all you're doing is going for a guy who's got a nice house, or going for a guy who's got his stuff together so you can have kids, so you can fulfill your little agenda? And then you wonder why the guys are divorcing you and trading you in, because all you came to the table with was sex. All you came to the table with was an exchange of intimacy for resources. That's what so many relationships are today. Now, I'm not saying men shouldn't be ambitious. I'm not saying that men shouldn't try to get a house, or try to get a better career, try to get a nice job, all these things. I'm not saying that at all. What I am saying is that if that's all that you have to offer a woman, and if that's all a woman expects from you, then you're probably not going to have the right relationship. You're probably not going to have a real loving relationship. It might function, it might work, right? Because you're both working towards this goal of having a better life together, right? But the goal really shouldn't be to have a better life. The goal should be to have better love. The goal should be to have love, not, oh, I want this farmland. See, I'm out here in all this farmland and all these houses, right? All these great houses. And these people are like, oh yeah, I want this great house, this comfortable life. I want to live the best life, and this, that, and the third. And it's like, okay, I get it. Like, I want to live a good life too. I'd like a nice, cool house out here in the woods, or whatever you want to call it. Look at that great, amazing house. You can't really see it. Sorry. I want that too, but you know, I don't want somebody to just use me for that. Right? I don't want somebody to just, like, I might live in a dumpy, dirty apartment for the rest of my life. But are you still gonna love me? That's the question. And if you can't love me, if I live in a dumpy, dirty apartment in my life, then you don't really love me. Sorry. You don't really, your love is conditional. And people will use the argument, well, men don't want to live with some bummy ass dirty girl, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, that's true. I don't want to live with some dumpy, dirty girl necessarily, but if I love somebody, then there's a lot I can overlook, and there's a lot I can help with. Like, I may be able to help her have a cleaner life. I may be able to help her get in better shape, or to eat better, this, that, and the third. That's real love. I care about you, and I'm going to help you get better. Now, if she simply refuses to get better, that's a different story, but I don't think most people are like that. I don't think most people don't want to improve. They probably have reasons why they can't improve. They probably have reasons why, or limitations why this or why that. And if they refuse, then maybe, like, yeah, like, no guy's like, I want to be broke. Like, who does that? No guy does that. No guy's like, I want to be broke. I want to be poor. I want to have crappy clothes. I want to live in a crappy little apartment. Who does that? Nobody. So what women do is they look at the end goal, and they look at or I wouldn't say the end goal. They look at where the guy's at. They hang around the finish line and they pick the winners, essentially. They don't care how hard it was for you to get to where you're getting, and in fact, they're not going to be there for you when you get to where when you get to your goal, or excuse me, they're not going to be there for you as you're working towards your goal. That's why guys trade you in. That's why we don't love you, because we know that you are fundamentally unloyal. You are fundamentally materialistic, and we don't respect that. At least any man worth his salt doesn't. Now, I've met a lot of men these days, this new breed of cuck, this new breed of beta, which I call them, new breed of weak man who who thinks he has to earn a woman by making all the money and this, that, and the third. Now, if that's your mindset, hey man, whatever, like, all right, and maybe you're right to an extent, but the question there is, do you have any self-worth? And it's only what you can provide. Now I'm looking around and I see a lot of great houses, great farmland, and it's like, that's great. I would love that, and I get it. Like, I get, you know, people who would want to live that life. But if you're saying, no, I'm not going to marry you because, or I'm not going to love you or date you because I just think you're a loser, I think you're not going anywhere in life, you're a gold digger. Sorry, you are fundamentally, you have no worth to me as that. Because what is worth to me as a woman? Somebody who supports you and loves you no matter what. Period. Yeah, you look around and it's like, oh, you know, these guys can provide me this great life, and these guys can bring this to the table and that to the table. What does this guy bring? You know, he lives in a grungy little apartment. Like, what do I want this guy for? Like, okay, that's not love. And so here's the thing. Don't wonder why men trade you in, because that's all because they know you're unloyal. And really, that's karma. That's what you deserve. Because you went after a guy with money, and the guy with money has options. It's science, baby. It's biology. He wants someone younger. You wanted somebody rich, and you thought he was going to be loyal to you when you weren't loyal to anybody else but yourself. You were loyal to only yourself. You got what you wanted. You got a rich man. Okay, and then he traded you in when you got old. He wasn't loyal to you because you weren't really loyal to any man. You sat around at the finish line, and you got the winner. Okay, so you got your cool life, and you got it for 20 years. You raised his kids. Then once that was done, and you started getting flappy, and you started to sag, your tits started to sag, he said, all right, I'm done. You raised my kids. You gave me sex and intimacy for 20 years. I'm out. Now I'm 50, and I got millions or whatever. I can afford to break you off something and get the divorce, and go find myself a 20-year-old and be with her for the next 20 years. Sorry, that's science, man. Men want young, attractive women. And if all women are bringing to the table is pussy, they're not bringing a cool personality, they're not bringing character, they're not trying to have chemistry with me, this, that, and the third. Oh, only they're trying to have those things if I have money. Men are smarter than that. We know. We can see through your shit. And all you wanted was a dude who had his shit together. All you wanted was the guy who was going places, and you got him. Well, don't get mad when he trades you in, because you ain't going places anymore. Now that your tits are saggy, now that you got no ass anymore, now that you got cellulite on your legs, now that you got stretch marks from having his kids, he don't want you no more. And here's the thing, why should he? Why should he be loyal to you when you weren't loyal to anybody else? You might have been loyal to him, but only because he had the money. If he didn't have the money, he wouldn't have got no honey. If he didn't have the money, you wouldn't have married him. And he knows that. He's not dumb. Unless he's such a weak cuck that he really thinks that he somehow won you or earned you. No. So you get what you deserve. Unfortunately, karma doesn't hit a lot of people. Unfortunately, we don't know. People in the world don't always get what they deserve, and that's why the world's unfair, and it is unfair, and it's sad because people who are materialistic in nature, women who are gold diggers, oftentimes they do have happy endings, and that's unfortunate. But I wouldn't call that love, though, man. You might get what you want. You might get the house and the guy who's got his shit together, woo, 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 and you say you love him, but I don't call that love. I call that an animalistic fulfillment. You have animalistically fulfilled your biological hypergamy. Okay, that's fine, but don't call that love. I mean, come on, let's just say that. Like that ain't no fairy tale. Like, come on, he ain't Aladdin, or he ain't the prince who came and rescued you. I mean, Disney was smart. They knew what young girls wanted. They knew, Disney knew female nature. They knew that a woman wanted to get cum swept off her feet by a prince. All that shit is really prophetic. All that Disney, Beauty and the Beast, Cinderella, fucking Sleeping Beauty, all that bullshit. That's catered towards young girls because they knew female nature. Snow White had the prince come save her and all this bullshit. Like, we know that the girls want the prince. We know they want the winner. That's hypergamy. So of course those young Disney movies are going to be popular. But in real life, divorce is at 50%. Okay? Sorry. Divorce is at 50%. You got a 1 in 2 chance that your marriage isn't going to work out. So your little perfect life, statistically is in peril. Statistically, your perfect life is in danger. All right, and men know that, and they know that they got a lot to lose by signing that contract. So we want to walk away. We don't want to marry you no more. And if we do, maybe a prenup, or else guys are smart. They figure out how to put their money in offshore accounts. They figure out how to, cheat the system or whatever. And they might break you off $500,000 or whatever to shut you up and keep you happy after the divorce. But don't be surprised if you get traded in. Don't be surprised if he dumps you for a younger woman. Because again, all you brought to the table was a prostitution-style exchange. Oh, I'm going to give you